Here's the screenshot. Okay.
Okay, everyone. I think we should start, and during the time we will wait for the other attendees. So, without further ado, I would like to warm welcome you on site and online for the event of S-Booster2022. I believe there are people joining on Ananda and also on Zoom Facebook Live as well. So please welcome for again S-Booster2022. It is the space business idea contest that looking for the idea state and try to formulate and generate the idea back to business, supported by Japanese government. So briefly today, you're gonna have a lot of session about the what kind of S-Booster, what is expecting you to submit the proposal, and what kind of pain point or solution needed from the Japanese company. You might be one a chance of the winning of the S-Booster Grand Prix, which is last year, 2021. Our team from Thailand, EcoSpace, we won the Grand Prix and Sony Prize. Mr. Chanchit also be here with us. So without further ado, first I would like to invite Mr. Roy Watana Kowarun as the Executive Director of the Ananda Overtake Office to give us a more welcome speech. So please.
Thank you,นะครับสวัสดีครับผมนะครับ looking to be here in person นะครับ we joined you online I have some IT problems so I have to be in the office นะครับ forgive me about my rest plan to help come in person this is Ananda office นะครับ executive director in Ananda and COVID has changed a lot of things within the company นะครับ by the way we have MITSUI here we also partner with MITSUI through the Sun นะครับ we invest together for $5 million in Bangkok นะครับ so we very much very close to our Japanese partner. But COVID comes, as you see that we change everything that we do. We don't come to the office anymore. Maybe once or twice a week the most. And the office here is used to host events and then to host our other partners. In my bag, I told some of the executives before that we have been top. Top tier units here, and so we're working closely with top. And over on that side, we also have Alpha Finance, that's here with us as well. And then further back, we also have a few other companies such as Botnoy, that we is doing AI and chatbot. So we're working on that too. And also we have NFT1, that's doing something on the NFT side at the moment. So I told the executive in the back that now I'm too overdressed because people now in the Alpha team, so basically they come in t-shirt, shorts, and then pocket top. So that's going to be my dress in the future when I come to welcome you. But in any sense, make good use of the space and then hope you enjoy the program. I'm sure that there are more people, from online love to see people in the physical form. We've been sitting in front of the screen for so long. We get tired of that too. Just got back from Phuket in business trip, and then people don't wear masks in the cloud anymore. So hopefully someday soon, we can get rid of the mask too. And once again, welcome, and anything that can help, let us know. We are full support. We have to make the country move forward in terms of tech direction. One small note that I shared with executives in the past is that we are talking about tech this, tech that, but I don't know if you know that when I do my study with Cambridge and Chulalongkorn, innovation only contributes to only 0.3% of the Thailand GDP. Therefore, we don't have Thailand 4.0. We don't have Thailand 4.0 yet. I don't know if we even have like Thailand 0.4 instead. So it's a lot of work for us to do. And one thing that I know for sure is that Thai people have the mindset of just thinking about Thailand or in the border of Thai. If you think about the top or you talk about Pan, who's a global company already, you have to think global mindset from day one. That changes everything that you do business. Tom is the second unicorn in the country. They're thinking about expanding overseas already. Pan, all of the business is outside of Thailand. That's why she reached $1 billion valuation in terms of market cap. So that's something that I want to leave, and then so that you have all the global partners here that can help and guide you. Well, welcome once again. Thank you,
Thank you. We have Mr. Lloyd for giving us a warm welcome speech during this opening season and hard time. Yes, space is one of the business that had to be thinking globally because the technology and the upstream is usually come from the space global. But before we start, I would like to invite the key person, the Director General of the Cabinet Office, to give the welcome and opening remarks about the S-Booster2022. Please join on Zoom. Please welcome.
Thank you very much. Dr. Tamnonkit Nyamad, Deputy Executive Director of Geo-Informatics and Space Technology Development Agency, JSAT, and distinguished participants. I'm Shoichiro Sakaguchi, Director General for International Cooperation of National Space Policy Secretariat of Cabinet Office Japan. It is our great pleasure to meet online you at S-Booster Open House today, and I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our indispensable international partner, JSAT, for livening up S-Booster Open Call together. Appreciation also goes to another development public company for hosting our event at your esteemed facility. And please let me express my appreciation to the sponsor companies, Kyocera, SkyPerfect, JSAT, Sony Group, Honda R&D, the MITSUI CO, and RiskTaker. Thank you very much. This is the third time for S-Booster application calling from Asia Oceania regions. In our first year, we received application from 7 countries and last year from 11 countries. We are seeing that S-Booster is expanding and hope S-Booster will further facilitate space activities in the Asia Oceania region. I would like to emphasize that Thailand is one of the leading countries for advancement of space technology in Asia, and its application led by JSAT have been accelerated. We hope that through our continuous joint cooperation, application of space technology in both countries will be further strengthened and advanced. Space field can make various new business, and we are looking forward to receiving innovative business idea through S-Booster and you. Thank you for cooperation.
Thank you so much again for giving us the wonderful opening speech. Yes, for the next session, I would like to briefly talk about the S-Booster in general. It is like the 5th year competition, maybe the 3rd year in Asia, but S-Booster usually localized in Japan country. Now we expanding the 3rd year in Asia, Oceania region. So with JSAT and Cabinet Office, we try to recruit the new idea that you can submit the idea state that can, you think what kind of the opportunity that can bring a lot of investors from Japan and Japan asset to utilize with your ideas. That is the main concept. So in general, there will be like a submission phase during from today until like the 20th of June this year, and then they're gonna announce some kind of like a semi-finalist for you in Asia. Stay tuned. If you selected, we're gonna host in the Bangkok again on site to select the finalists from 4 to join in the final program in Japan in physically hopefully this year. So the grand prize will be more than around 10 million yen, and not only that, they're gonna have the judge prize, the guarantee Asia and Oceania prize, and even if you selected to be the finalist, we're gonna support you around 20,000 Thai baht as a discount price for the Asia team also. So please consider this as some kind of challenging yourself that is possible you can get funded from the big company, which is going to be described in like a sponsor for the Kyocera, Perfect, JSAT, Sony Corporation, Honda. They all there with you today. They're going to give the wonderful pay point solution. So listen carefully. There might be the suggestion that can brush up your idea very well. This is a very important thing, and I hope you are enjoying this session. So before we start the sponsor sessions, I would like to maybe give you some idea about the past finalists from last year, 2017 first, from 2 teams, the grand prize winner and the Asia Oceania prize winner. The grand prize winner will also be joining us here. It's specialist Thamrong Woongate from AS. She won the prize of 10 million Thai baht, utilizing the IoT satellite and the ground sensor satellite to find the best communication way from the forest area to back to the local command. So this is like one of my experience is not so fancy, not so hard idea. Always work with the price, but also the idea that can solve the everyday solutions. So you can see that space is very close to the end user in terms of the solution and downstream. Without further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Kanchit Thamrong Woongate to give us some of the past activity ideas that led to the grand prize. Please welcome.
Thank you ค่ะคุณต้นนะคะ Secretary asked me to speak in Thai because said that the audience of Thai is very limited. Therefore, I switch to Arabic นะคะโอเคก่อนอื่นขออนุญาตแนะนำตัวเองก่อนนะคะปัญชมิตรนะคะก็เป็น representative นะคะของ Ecospace นะคะ Ecospace เป็น internal startup ของบริษัท AS นะคะหลายคนก็รู้จักอยู่แล้วนะคะ AS ก็คือ Large Mobile Operator in Thailand ตอนนี้นะคะเราเองมี passion ในเรื่องของการทำเทคโนโลยีหรือดิจิทัลที่ตอบโจทย์ทางด้าน environment นะคะแล้วก็เราก็ทราบเรื่องของ S-Booster competition นะคะเราก็เลยพาไอเดียของเราแล้วก็โปรโตไทป์ที่เราทำแล้วนะคะเข้าประกวดนะคะแล้วเราก็โชคดีค่ะผ่านช่วงเอเชียราวชนะได้อันดับ1นะคะก็ดีใจนะคะแล้วก็สิ่งที่โชคดีมากกว่านั้นก็คืออย่างที่คุณต้นเล่าเมื่อสักครู่ในเชิงเทคโนโลยีของเราไม่ได้มีอะไรโดดเด่นนะคะแต่สิ่งสำคัญน่าจะเป็นเรื่องของการประยุกต์ใช้นะคะนำเทคโนโลยีด้านสเปซมาใช้ได้จริงและแก้ปัญหาเรื่อง climate change นะคะก็เลยทำให้เราเป็นวินเนอร์นะคะที่ได้แกรนด์ไพรส์และมากกว่านั้นก็คือต้องขอบคุณ Sony Group ด้วยนะคะเราได้สปอนเซอร์ไพรส์ซึ่งเราก็ได้เงินรางวัลนะคะที่ 10.5 ล้านเยนซึ่งมันก็เป็นเหมือนฟันดิ้งก้อนใหญ่ก้อนแรกของเราที่จะนำมาทำโครงการนี้ต่อไปนะคะก่อนอื่นวันนี้ขอพูดสั้นๆ2เซสชันนะคะอันแรกก็คือว่าขอแนะนำตัวนิดนึงว่า Ecospace คือใครนะคะแล้วก็ขอแชร์แบ่งปันประสบการณ์ว่าคุณได้อะไรเราจะได้อะไรในฐานะที่เราเป็นคนที่เข้ามาจอยในโครงการ ก่อนที่จะแนะนำ EcoSpace ขออนุญาตโชว์ภาพนี้อยากถามไม่ต้องตอบมาก็ได้นะคะเห็นภาพนี้แล้วรู้สึกยังไงคะเชื่อไหมคะครั้งแรกนะคะที่มันได้เห็นภาพนี้ความรู้สึกแรกที่ป๊อปอัพขึ้นมาในหัวใจก็คือว่าเฮ้ยเรื่องนี้มันเมื่อไหร่มันจะหยุดลงปัญหาเรื่องไฟป่าเนี่ยโดยเฉพาะอันนี้ภาพที่เกิดเมื่อออกัสปีที่แล้วนะคะที่ยุโรปกรีซนะคะไฟป่าลามจนกระทั่งไหม้บ้านของคุณผู้หญิงท่านนี้นะคะแต่ประเทศไทยก็เกิดขึ้นนะคะแล้วเราก็คงจำกันได้เนาะเชียงใหม่ค่ะเมืองที่สวยงามนะคะกลายเป็นเมืองที่เป็นยังไงคะเป็นเมืองที่มีมลพิษมากที่สุดนะคะในช่วงมีนานะคะปี 2020 จำได้สาเหตุที่เกิดขึ้นแบบนี้เพราะอะไรเพราะว่าเทคโนโลยีปัจจุบันที่เราใช้ในการตรวจจับอะค่ะใช้เวลานานกว่าจะรู้ว่า1 พาสปอร์ตเกิดขึ้นนะคะ 3-6 ชั่วโมงอันนี้ข้อมูลเหล่านี้เกิดขึ้นเพราะทีมของ EcoSpace ไปลงพื้นที่แล้วหลายครั้งเนี่ยพื้นที่ที่เกิดไฟป่าที่เป็นพาสปอร์ตเนี่ยค่ะเป็นพื้นที่ที่ไม่มีอินเทอร์เน็ตแล้วเราก็แบบfrustrate กับข้อจำกัดเรื่องนี้มากว่าไม่ได้แล้วนะเราจะต้องทำบางสิ่งบางอย่างนะคะก็เลยเป็นที่มานะคะที่ทางทีม EcoSpace ลุกขึ้นนะคะข้อจำกัดทำยังไงนะคะเราประยุกต์เอาเซ็นเซอร์ที่ทุกวันนี้มีอยู่แล้วในโรงงานไม่ว่าจะเป็น smoke detector นะคะเซ็นเซอร์ที่เป็นปลั๊กไฟนะคะตรวจจับโรงงานเนี่ยถ้าอุปกรณ์ไปติดตั้งอะลามเรื่องการป้องกันไฟแล้วบอกว่าจะแจ้งคุณหลังจากไฟไหม้แล้ว3 ชั่วโมงโรงงานคุณยอมเอามาติดตั้งไหมคะไม่มีนะคะแต่ทำไมในป่าใน forest ต้องยอมเรายอมกับการล่าช้าแบบนี้ทางทีม EcoSpace บอกเฮ้ยไม่ยอมเราก็ไปกว้านนะคะศึกษาเซ็นเซอร์ที่มีอยู่ในท้องตลาดเอามาเทสเอามา develop นะคะที่เทคคุณเร็วใช่ไหมแล้วเอาไปเทสจริงนะคะเอาไปเทสจริงนะคะแล้วก็ดูว่าอะไรเหมาะสมที่สุดกับป่าไม้บ้านเราเซ็นเซอร์แบบไหนที่ทำงานได้ดีที่สุดนะคะแล้วเราก็ไปติดตั้งจริงนะคะที่เป็นวันที่เราไปติดตั้งจริงเมื่อปี 2020 นะคะมี editor ของ National Geographic เข้าไปกับเราด้วยนะคะแล้วเขาก็เขียน public story ของ EcoSpace ว่าไอเดียที่แบบการมีทิปเร็วมันช่วยได้จริงๆนะคะแต่สิ่งสำคัญมากกว่านั้นสิ่งที่ EcoSpace พยายามจะทำก็คือเราพยายามจะข้ามผ่านขีดจำกัดทุกอย่างเลยที่อยู่ในป่าพื้นที่ป่าเป็นพื้นที่ที่ท้าทายมากค่ะตั้งแต่ไม่มีอินเทอร์เน็ตนะคะไม่มี power source นะคะการดีเทคมีปัญหาเกี่ยวกับเรื่องลมเราใช้ ground sensor นะคะทำงานร่วมกับถ้าพื้นที่ไหนมี 4G ของ GIS ทำงานก็ใช้ค่ะถ้าไม่มีใช้ลอร่าค่ะถ้าลอร่าก็ยังไม่ได้อีกต่อเข้ากับ IoT satellite ซึ่งตอนนั้นเนี่ยเราก็ใช้ความน่ามึนมากนะคะอีเมลไปที่ลูกค้าเรารู้ว่าเขามี IoT satellite แล้วก็เล่าเรื่องราวที่เราแพชชั่นของเราแล้วอยู่วันหนึ่งก็มีโปรเฟสเซอร์นะคะท่านก็ตอบมาว่าคนสนใจเราก็เลยได้มีโอกาสเทสแล้วก็ทำงานจริงกับIoT satellite ที่เราของ University of Tokyo นะคะก็ประสบความสำเร็จนะคะอุปกรณ์สามารถดีเทคนะคะดีเทคไฟป่าได้ภายใน15 นาทีแต่สิ่งเหล่านั้นเนี่ยสำคัญที่สุดก็คือต้องมีการ identify นะคะพื้นที่ที่เป็นแพทเทิร์นในการเกิดไฟป่าซ้ำๆนะคะเราเริ่มต้นนะคะ EcoSpace เริ่มต้นจากปี 2019 นะคะแล้วก็เริ่มทำโปรโตไทป์ตัวแรกเนี่ยช่วงเมษนะคะ 2020 นะคะแล้วก็ติดตั้งจริงนะคะเทสกับยูออโตเกียวประมาณออกโทเบอร์นะคะ 2020 แล้วก็กุมภาพันธ์ 2021 เราทำงานร่วมกับ ARV ค่ะเพราะว่ารู้เร็วตัวเซ็นเซอร์ของเราเนี่ยวัตถุประสงค์คือรู้เร็วค่ะดีเทคภายใน15 นาทีแต่รู้เร็วแล้วเนี่ยจะดับเร็วได้ยังไงคนยังเข้าไปไม่ถึงนะคะก็ใช้โดรนนะคะทำงานร่วมกับโดรนของปตทหรือ ARV นะคะไปทิ้งลูกบอลดับไฟก็มีการเทสแล้วก็ปลายปีที่แล้วนะคะเราก็ภูมิใจมากนะคะก็ได้รับเกียรตินะคะได้รางวัล Grand Prize แล้วก็ได้ Sony Prize Award นะคะเราก็นำต้นทุนนำทุนเหล่านั้นนะคะพัฒนาต่อตอนนี้เราก็เข้าไปในพื้นที่ภาคเหนือนะคะในที่เป็นพื้นที่เกิดไฟป่าจริงนะคะติดตั้งตอนนี้อยู่ที่2พื้นที่ไฟป่าภาคเหนือแล้วนะคะอันนี้เราเพิ่งกลับมานะคะ6 เดือนที่ผ่านมานะคะเราเพิ่งกลับมาจากจังหวัดหนึ่งนะคะติดตั้งกันจริงๆเลยนะคะในพื้นที่ไฟป่านะคะแล้วก็เราก็ได้ data นะคะแล้วก็สามารถ detect ได้นะคะตามที่เราคาดหวังเดี๋ยวจะมีวิดีโอโชว์ให้ดูนะคะสั้นๆเพื่ออย่างไรจะได้เข้าใจภาพของ นี่คือร่องรอยไฟป่านะคะที่เกิดขึ้นจริงนะคะจะเห็นดำๆนี่คือไฟป่าที่เป็นทีมงานของเรานะคะเกิดเข้าไปนี่เป็นตัวตอนที่เราทำโปรโตไทป์นะคะของอุปกรณ์ที่อยู่ในเซ็นเซอร์ก็ทำเองเสาเราก็เป็นเสาแอนตินานะคะอุปกรณ์ตั้งเสาเราว่าเก็บเองนะคะเราก็ตั้งกันไหนอุปกรณ์ทำส่วนติดตั้งบนเสาเขาก็เองทำถ้าการฝนตกเราก็ติดตั้งอุปกรณ์อันนี้ติดตั้งจริงเมื่อก่อนแนะนำ EcoSpace นะคะประมาณนี้ถัดไปค่ะผมต้องเล่าว่าแล้วในการที่ EcoSpace เนี่ยไม่ยอมโอเคแล้วได้อะไรในฐานะที่มาจอย EcoSpace แล้วเหตุผลอะไรเราเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของคอมมิชชั่นนี้หรือโปรแกรมนี้นะคะอันนี้เป็นซุปเปอร์ทีมนะคะเป็นทีมของเรานะ EcoSpace เรามีประมาณ7 คนนะคะหลากหลายนะคะเรามีแต่เป็นซอฟต์แวร์เอนจิเนียร์ทำคอมเอนจิเนียร์นะคะฮาร์ดแวร์เอนจิเนียร์อิเล็กทริคอลเอนจิเนียร์นะคะแล้วก็ไซน์ทิสต์แต่เราไม่มีก็คือเราไม่มีเอ็กซ์เพรสทางด้านสเปซเลยเราเป็น non space tech people ล้วนๆเลยค่ะเอาตรงๆถ้าเราสารภาพกันวันนี้ในฐานะถึงแม้ว่าตอนนี้ได้แกรนด์ไพรส์มาแล้วนะคะไปที่ไหนก็จะบอกว่าความรู้ที่ดีที่สุดก่อนที่เราจะเริ่มเข้าจอย S-Booster เนี่ยเกี่ยวกับสเปซนะคะความรู้ที่ดีที่สุดของเราคือสตาร์วอร์ค่ะรู้ทุกเรื่องทุกตอนเอพิโซดเป็นแฟนพันธุ์แท้มากนะคะมีตุ๊กตาทุกแบบหนึ่งนะแต่นี่รู้ดีที่สุดเลยนะคะ Low Earth Orbit คืออะไรรู้คร่าวๆไม่รู้หรอกว่าทำงานยังไงนะคะการ connect ระหว่าง IoT Ground Sensor กับ IoT Satellite มันเจอกันยังไงแล้วมันทำงานยังไงโปรโตคอลเป็นยังไงเป็นเรื่องใหม่ทั้งหมดที่เรามาศึกษาก่อนแต่โชคดีที่ถึงแม้เราจะไม่ใช่space tech people นะคะแต่สิ่งที่เราเห็นคือเราเห็น space opportunity ค่ะ space business opportunity เขาเชื่ออย่างยิ่งว่า space เป็นแหล่งข้อมูลนะเป็นแหล่งเป็นเทคโนโลยีที่จะช่วยให้เราลดต้นทุนและสร้างสิ่งที่มันมีประโยชน์มากมายได้เหมือนอินเทอร์เน็ตเหมือนครั้งหนึ่งที่มีใครสักคนคิดค้นอินเทอร์เน็ตทุกวันนี้ท่านทราบไหมคะว่าอินเทอร์เน็ตปตท.ที่เขาเริ่มต้นกันมาอย่างไรเราไม่รู้หรอกนะคะแต่เราสามารถสร้างแอปพลิเคชันบนเทคโนโลยีเหล่านี้ได้เราก็เหมือนกันค่ะและนั่นแหละค่ะทำให้ EcoSpace ได้รางวัลโอเคค่ะก็ทำให้เราได้รางวัลนะคะเมื่อ December ปีที่ผ่านมาก็เป็นความภูมิใจนะคะและเรื่องหลังของความไม่รู้สู่ความรู้ของเรา S-Booster ไม่ใช่ competition หรือ hackathon ที่ทำ48 ชั่วโมงแล้วเลิกนะคะจากวันที่เราผ่านรอบเอเชียราวประมาณ September ค่ะเราได้รับการเมนทอร์อย่างดุเดือดมากนะคะเป็น mentoring แล้วเราโชคดีมากปีนี้เราก็ได้มิสเตอร์เอาอีสันนะคะท่านก็เป็นเจ้าหลักด้วยนะคะแล้วก็เป็นวันก็เรียกว่าตัวสเปคพอร์ตที่จะการอยู่นะคะแล้วก็มิสเตอร์นะคะสัปตะซังนะคะท่านก็เป็นมาจากดีรอยต์นะคะท่านก็เป็นเซาให้ความรู้ทางด้าน business opportunity และเทคโนโลยีนะคะมากกว่านั้นในไฟนอลราวเองในเรื่องของการพิชนะคะการพรีเซนต์เรายังได้มิสเตอร์ คูคิฮาร่านะคะท่านก็มาสอนมาซ้อมกับเราทุกอย่างนะคะจนเราเนี่ยเรารู้สึกโหเราเทพขึ้นเยอะเลยจากคนที่รู้มาในคนรู้อะค่ะแต่ก็ยังรู้ไม่มากหรอกค่ะถ้าเทียบกับคนอื่นที่เป็นSpace Tech Person นะคะแต่วันนี้ค่ะความรู้เหล่านี้หาได้เพราะไม่ใช่เพราะเราเป็นวินเนอร์เนาะเป็นเพราะเราตัดสินใจจอย S-Booster ค่ะเมื่อเราจอย S-Booster อย่างน้อยถ้าเราเป็น Finalist นะคะเราจะได้ความรู้อีกมากเลยนะคะที่จะเป็นประโยชน์ให้เราในอนาคตนะคะและความรู้เหล่านั้นนะคะทำให้วันนี้เนี่ย S-Booster เติบโตขึ้นเรื่อยๆนะคะช่วงตั้งแต่มกราคมที่ผ่านมาเรามีการลงLocal Gatewayนะคะแล้วก็เรา launch dashboard ของเราเรียบร้อยนะคะแล้วก็เราได้มี follow up mentoring นะคะหลังจากได้รางวัลแล้วนะคะเป็นชอเราก็มาเป็นชอที่เก็บให้เรานะคะแล้วเราก็มีโอกาสได้มีโอกาสที่จะได้ collaborate กับ Sony Group นะคะแล้วเราก็ไปออกงานหลายๆงานนะคะวันนี้เราก็มีออกงานที่ Thailand ที่พารากอนนะคะก็นายกก็มาเปิดงานแล้วก็มาเยี่ยมชมนะคะโครงการของเราแล้วก็ได้ติดตั้งระบบจริงในที่จริงนะคะเรานี้ก็มาจากการที่เราได้มีโอกาสได้จอยกับ S-Booster นะคะฉะนั้นสำหรับการใช้เองเนี่ย S-Booster เนี่ยมันไม่ใช่ competition นะคะมันคือ community นะคะ community เรากำลังพูดถึง frontier technology นะคะสิ่งที่เราไม่รู้มีอยู่เยอะมากๆฉะนั้นการมีเพื่อนการ sharing knowledgeสำคัญมากๆการอยู่ในกลุ่มคนที่มี passion คล้ายๆกันจะเป็นตัวขับเคลื่อนทำให้ไอเดียหรือความฝันที่เรามีเนี่ยเป็นประโยชน์อย่างยิ่งนะคะขออนุญาตจบดิฉันตัวเองด้วยความลับข้อหนึ่งที่ขอเปิดเผยคือจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยครั้งหนึ่งเนี่ยการใช้เพลงเนี้ยจอย S-Booster ปี 2019 ด้วยนะคะเป็น Finalist เหมือนกันแล้วก็ไม่ได้รางวัลอะไรกลับไปเลยนะคะก็แต่จริงๆแล้วเนี่ยวันนั้นเนี่ยได้เรียวแกรนด์ไทยตั้งแต่ปี 2019 นะคะอยากทราบไหมคะว่าเรียวแกรนด์ไทยของ S-Booster 2019 คืออะไรอันนี้ค่ะวันที่ 28 โนเวมเบอร์ 2019 ก่อนกลับมาเมืองไทยนะคะตอนนั้นเป็นพิชที่ญี่ปุ่นนะคะอันนี้ก็โพสต์อยู่บนหน้า Facebook ของตัวเองนะคะว่ามันเป็นประสบการณ์ที่มันยอดเยี่ยมมากนะคะที่ได้เข้า competition ครั้งนี้นะคะโอ้ทำไมมองไม่เห็นเชื่อออกได้ไหมแล้วก็จริงๆไอ้ตัวสีชมพูเนี่ยมันพิมพ์ว่าจริงไม่รู้มันบางนะตัวสีไอ้ที่ไฮไลท์สีชมพูนั้นพิมพ์ว่าจะกลับเมืองไทยโดยไม่มีรางวัลอะไรติดมือกลับมาแต่สิ่งที่ได้กลับมาก็คือความฝันที่หายไปแล้วก็ new good friend นะคะขอบคุณทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างที่เชียร์ให้เราเนี่ยจอยใน competition นี้นะคะก็ปี 2019 ไม่ได้อะไรกลับมาแล้วก็กลับมาในปี 2021 นะคะอันนี้น่าจะเป็นเหตุผลที่อยากให้ทุกคนจอย S-Booster ครั้งนี้นะคะขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับนะครับคุณครูต้องให้บรรยายเป็นภาษาไทยเลยนะเพราะว่าเป็นจริงทุกคำนะครับแล้วก็ทุกสิ่งที่คุณครูได้บรรยายไปเนี่ยก็สร้างแรงบันดาลใจให้กับทีมใหม่ๆนะครับสตาร์ทอัพรุ่นใหม่ๆหรือว่ากลุ่มคนที่อยากจะมาเข้าใช่ครับอย่างที่บอกเป็นคอมมูนิตี้ของ S-Booster นะครับ so you don't have to aware of the base knowledge the first place because this community already have a lot to support and help you growth like if you try and miss there's gonna be always second chance to win the S-Booster so the next is the Asia Oceania prize winner so that means we can see that it's gonna be some prize submit from Asia team so I would like to invite Dr. Landon Camp.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? Yes, he is the team for the improving small space mobility with the hybrid quick motor. So today he's going to share the idea that grant him the Asia Oceania prize. So please go ahead.
So can you see the screen, the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'm Landon. I'm from Letara, which is a Hokkaido University startup. Hokkaido is the northern island of Japan. So I'm presenting from Sapporo, Japan. And I was so happy to see Ms. Kanchani. I love EcoSpace, and I'm glad she won. So congratulations. This is the first time I'm on the screen and you're standing in person. So yeah, until now, I always see your face on the computer screen. So in S-Booster 2021, our business proposition was hybrid kick motors for improving small satellite mobility. And we're still around, and now we're Letara Ltd. And Letara is the Hokkaido local native language, Ainu, the Ainu language for pure white or snow white. And we chose this name representing our origins. We have 3 founding members, which you see on the left. So Shota Hirai was there at S-Booster with me. And on the right of the 3 pictures is Professor Harunori Nagata, and he's our university advisor. And actually on the bottom right, if you look carefully, you see this is a spin-off of Hokkaido University's technology. And the spin-off technology is, in the title, we're making safe and fast propulsion for small spacecraft. So we don't have much time today. If you have questions, please check out the website in the bottom left, letara.space. So my story begins in 2012 in Afghanistan. And I took this picture while I was on patrol as an officer in the US Army. And I show this picture because, as you can see in this area, there's almost no infrastructure. Yet my team in the United States Army, we had internet and weather forecasts and lots of valuable technologies because of satellite infrastructure. And so for me, this was really shocking to see the gap between the American Army and the local people of Afghanistan. And I wanted to close this technology gap. And I found Hokkaido University's research on safe spacecraft propulsion. And I decided to come study in Hokkaido. And it's in Hokkaido where I started Letara with my colleagues. Now, a lot has happened since then. Other people have made lots of small satellites. So in 2012, when I was in Afghanistan, only 52 small satellites were used to help advance this technology. And now just last year, 1,743 new small satellites were launched to provide these services. And like the services EcoSpace will be able to provide. But unfortunately, these small satellites have very limited mobility. And so in one sentence, existing small satellite propulsion systems are too slow. And because they're slow, we have this list of problems, which is building. On the left, you can see we have long lead times to constellation dispersal. It can take months or years to disperse this constellation and then to deorbit, which means there's a buildup of satellites which are unable or can't deorbit quickly. And on the right-hand side is problems related to going beyond the conventional orbits and developing further into space. But in our case, the second from the right, the Japanese Space Agency was limited to 3 deep space missions in over 20 years. And this is because there's a very limited access to go to orbits beyond the Earth. And the reason behind this is that small satellite developers don't have a choice. We had the choice of chemical propulsion, like you see on the left, which is very fast and would solve this problem. But the propellants are very hazardous, and we can't use them for the rideshare configuration, which is being used to deliver all of these new small satellites. So everyone has a choice. Choose the electric propulsion, which is safe but very, very slow, or nothing at all. And when you choose electric propulsion, you need months or years to change orbits to get to the destination you want to go to. So Letara's proposed solution is hybrid propulsion. Hybrid propulsion is using plastic as a fuel in place of hazardous liquid fuels. And so plastic is a fuel, so it is fast. And it's also completely safe. As you can see in the middle picture, that's my co-founder, Shota, inserting the fuel into the rocket chamber in person. You can touch it. Because of the safety management costs are almost zero, which means that this is also quite affordable. Of course, we can recycle the plastic as well, which is great for achieving sustainability. Now, the trick is it's very difficult to get plastic to burn as conventional chemical rocket fuels. But for 25 years, we've been building up this necessary technologies at Hokkaido University. As you see on the left-hand side, on the bottom there, we have patents. We have 2 patents pending, one for combustion technology, one for ignition technology, which is critical for achieving this kind of orbital transfer capability. And if you compare our technologies to our competitors, which is researchers essentially in the United States and Europe, we're the only one who hasn't given up on our goal of fast and safe propulsion. All the other researchers trying to use plastic as fuel, they sacrificed this challenge by using explosive or flammable oxidizers. And so they gave up on protecting the safety and sacrificed safety for performance. And we're the only ones who can offer this safe and fast propulsion at the moment worldwide. Now, our first business model is to offer kick motors. Kick motors like kicking a soccer ball. It's like moving a satellite quickly between orbits. And our first 3 kick motors are essentially propulsion packages in a nano size, micro size, and mini size, which will sell to small satellite developers, and they integrate the hardware into their satellite as necessary. And the market for these small satellites is still growing exponentially. By 2027, we expect the small satellite market is $7 billion. And of that, $1.3 billion is going to be used for propulsion. But our true potential isn't the kick motor, only the kick motor. The kick motor is a foundational technology for these 2 services on the right, a transportation service for cargo and human passenger spaceflight, because this is the only fast and non-explosive and non-hazardous rapid transportation. It's the only one truly suitable for future human spaceflight and space activities. And that market is going to be much larger. In 2040, the overall space market is going to be $1.6 trillion, but of that is $160 billion for space transportation. And more than half, probably 60 or 70%, will be for passenger spaceflight only. So Letara's motto is beyond the Earth, faster and further. And we envision a future where large numbers of people and goods move freely through space. So join us and shoot for faster destinations and farther destinations. Lastly, I have 2 slides. One is to just kind of recap how we grew from the university research into a commercial project. And you can see here, we actually started in 2017, and we slowly built up a track record at the university using government funding from the Space Agency and from the science foundations. And thanks to the S-Booster, which is the picture on the right, we were able to step out from the university and aim at commercializing technology into the industry. And now we're fundraising for R&D and a space demonstration. And lastly, I'll just reiterate some of what Kanja-san told us, but the S-Booster really, it's very much about what happens after the S-Booster. And in our case, we joined the Space Tide Accelerator, where we had another month or 2 of training to help us prepare a business plan and try and teach us about the founder's mindset. And also we got contacted by many companies, and many of those companies are venture capital. And so now we're in negotiations for fundraising with venture capital. And like today's presentation, we've been invited to participate in other presentations where we can promote our business. And our website, the views of our website increased dramatically. So all these things are really great effects from S-Booster. That's all I have. I think I took all of the time. I'm afraid if you have questions, feel free to check the website, letara.space, and you can contact us through the website. Thank you very much for your attention. And it was nice seeing you, Ms. Kanjats. I hope we meet in person sometime, eventually, in the future.
kind of idea. This is like an upstream space-based idea, which is, yes, you can also apply for the S-Booster program. So next, the sponsor session, which is not only the prize award, they gonna be winning, you also gain the impressive opportunity that can be collaborated with the sponsor. For this year, 2022 of S-Booster, there will be 6 total sponsors who will support you. The special prize you're gonna see their need for solution, their pain point that you might think that you can solve it. So listen carefully. So let me, before we start, let me introduce the 6 sponsors. What is exactly going to be? Like the number 1, the Kyocera Corporation. The second one, the Sky Perfect JSAT Corporation. The third one is Sony Corporation, which is already on site with us. And the fourth one, Honda R&D Company Limited. And the fifth one, MITSUI Company Limited, which we have their participants right here also on site. And then the 6th, the RiskTaker Inc. So without further ado, I would like to invite the first speaker for the Kyocera Corporation to give the idea needed for winning the sponsor file of S-Booster 2022. Please, George.
What is secondary impact brought about by the broadband satellite internet? The age when internet connectivity is available anywhere on the globe is approaching. How will satellite broadband availability impact the world in which we live? Will it be a driving force to attract the migration of people to new cities? Transformation of population flow. Will it create a revolution in the primary and secondary industries, impressive with new people? Transformation of things flow. We are seeking entrepreneurs with business ideas focused on this type of social transformation.
Okay, thank you very much for the video presentation. So the second sponsor, the Sky Perfect JSAT Corporation. Please, welcome for the presentation.
Hello, I am Kyoko Kamoshita from the Space and Defense Division of Sky Perfect JSAT. We are the first Japanese private company to launch communication satellites, and we own and operate them in-house. Furthermore, we are continuing to take on new challenges with the idea that we handle everything related to space. In line with our group mission statement, Space for Your Smile, Sky Perfect JSAT has been promoting our corporate brand as pioneer in space business and as the slogan, our unlimited vision, your practical value, which we created in 2020. Being the foreigner of space business in Japan, Sky Perfect JSAT is now seeking for ideas from around the world that can potentially create surprising new businesses and or bring entertainment which we have never seen before on Earth and beyond. Sky Perfect JSAT would appreciate the chance to hearing ideas from anyone who is up to challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your proposal for the ideas. So next, Sony Group Corporation, which is on site with us, I would like to invite the representative to give the proposal of the idea. Please.
First of all, thank you for joining us for such an exciting conference today. It's a pleasure to. So let me introduce myself. Okay, I'm Hori, General Manager of R&D Center in Sony Corporation. I hope you know Sony well. And my team is responsible for building us memory cloud. So my team is responsible for building us memory. By the way, memory Japanese for advanced one to ensure all images or watching over events. The expertise team is sensing IoT system with ultra-low HPI processor, ultra-wide sensing satellite, low-cost sensing system for agriculture, livestock, aquaculture, and natural disasters. So from here, so I'm going to talk about what we are working on. As we own various social and environmental issues that we are facing, becoming intensive and imminent. So one of the big impacts due to climate change, and the recent studies have shown that it clearly caused by human beings. So these are not in the future; these are happening now. So now we have a once in a decade flood every year. The rain is getting heavier, and the landslide every. The Australian forest fire are still fresh in our mind, and unprecedented forest fire are breaking almost every year, almost every day in South Asia and Southeast Asia. So since around 21st century, floods are occurred frequently, and more than 100 people have lost their lives each time. So next week. To solve many of these problems, so we use global systems, identify specific problems, and take action with minimum negative impact to the environment, maximize efforts. And finally, we will maintain a sustainable future. We call this concept memory, which means advanced warning to ensure all events well or watching over the Earth. And we are working on social implementation by conducting demonstration experiments in various ways.
As Sony continues such activities, let me show you what we are expecting from S-Booster's business idea. This is a sponsor from Sony for this year. What I consider particularly important is we inlet that it is necessary to develop the interaction between human society and the Earth society. So it is crucial to look at things objectively from the Earth society only. To this end, we will conduct a global sensing, and it will be important to utilize the space in this process. Let me show you one example of Sony's actual efforts. So this is Japanese experimental module Kibo on the International Space Station. So we have installed an LPW receiver at this end and have succeeded in receiving signal from the sensors on the ground. So this means that global sensing is now possible. The transmitters and LPWA technologies used in this experiment may be available to you in the near future. So this is final slide. Again, solving environmental and social issues requires everyone's help and collaboration. Let's create a future with our technologies, your ideas, and support of friends all over the world. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, for the wonderful proposal. Hopefully you are interested to solve this idea as well. Yes, the fourth sponsor will be the Honda R&D Company Limited. So please join us for the presentation.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Yuji Yasui. I'm the Executive Chief Engineer of Honda R&D Japan. This year also, Honda R&D is supporting S-Booster. This is a Honda's 2030 vision. Honda will lead the evolution of life and mobility for people worldwide through mobility products and their services. This slide shows Honda's products. Honda business covers extremely wide area of automotive, motorcycle, airplane, onboard motor, power product, and so on. So Honda can provide a lot of values to people worldwide in the various life scenes. Honda has been researched many kinds of intelligent mobility. Last year, Honda released world-first Level 3 automated driving car in Japan. This is a video introducing Honda's Level 3 vehicle, Honda Sensing Elite. It is released in only Japan, so all captions are in Japanese. I have to apologize. Push a button so automatic driving is started. So it enables a hands-off driving on the highway and the lane changing automatically. When the eco car goes into the traffic jam situation, it becomes a level 3. Under level 3, a driver can hands off and eyes off driving. He can see the video. And furthermore, this vehicle can be driven by a driver also. This is an automated driving car Honda proposed. Okay. Furthermore, Honda will continue to research intelligent technologies for mobility. Honda's intelligent technologies enable to reduce traffic accidents and to cooperate with other traffic participants, like the experienced drivers, in very complicated driving scene also, as shown here. Honda intends to expand robotics using automated driving technologies from business scene to daily life scene also. In the meantime, space technology also significantly evolved. Now we can obtain a lot of valuable information from the satellites. Honda is very interested in the combination of the ground mobility vehicles and the information from the space. This combination will be enabled to provide new values to people in the future and expand the pleasure in their lives. AI also will strongly support it, I convinced it. So, Honda proposed intelligent ground mobility robot and a vehicle utilizing information from the space as the theme of the S-Booster2022. I'm looking forward to a lot of novel ideas. Thank you.
Thank you again for your wonderful proposal for Honda R&D. Next, the fifth sponsor will be the MITSUI Company Limited to give you ideas about the
yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, you may start.
No, please start.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. The existing International Space Station ISS will retire around 2030, and the era of the commercial space station will come afterwards. MITSUI believes there is a huge business opportunity using the commercial space station, and it's going to contribute any kind of the industry on the Earth and the people who and to solve the problem of our lives. MITSUI, together with our partner, is now trying to secure an infrastructure in low Earth orbit, but whom we need is someone who can share the same vision with us and create innovation and to provide any innovative business opportunity which we cannot achieve on the Earth. So today we would like to share those opportunity and vision with you, and we would like to invite anyone who has a
very innovative idea using commercial space station. Looking forward to working with you jointly. Thank you very much.
これまで政府が運用してきた国際宇宙ステーション ISS は民間事業者による運用への転機を迎えています。三井物産グループはこれまで超小型衛星放出事業等を通じて ISS 希望の利用拡大に貢献してきました。 ISS 後継機として期待される民間宇宙ステーション事業に取り組むことが日本の宇宙産業の発展につながると信じ、米国アクシオムとの資本提携、民間宇宙ステーション事業に本格参入、有人滞在拠点、微小重力環境、極限環境という宇宙特有の場を活用し、多様なパートナーと連携することであらゆる産業の課題解決、地球人のイノベーション創出に寄与します。さらには民間宇宙ステーションを新宇宙への探査拠点に利用します。三井物産は民間宇宙ステーション事業の取り組みを通じ、地球低軌道に新たな経済圏を構築することに挑戦します。挑戦と創造、三井物産。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attention to our space business. My name is Yuda Yamamoto, doing the leading the commercial space station inside Mitsui, and it's my pleasure to present ourselves. So Mitsui is one of the largest conglomerate companies based in Tokyo and doing investment trading business since 1874. But the space, we're very new. Our journey started in 2028 when Mitsui was awarded by JAXA as a CubeSat deployment service provider from the ISS Kibo module. And nowadays, we're doing the various scope of the business in the space area. First and second one is the launching business, so that our customer is the satellite operators. But nowadays, we are getting into the commercial space station these days, so that the reason is as you may know, the ISS would be retired around 2030, when the space agency decided to allocate their governmental resources to deep space exploration and ask private companies to do by themselves for the lower orbit activities. And the station is not exceptional, meaning that the current ISS, after the ISS retirement, then there would be the commercial space station. And MITSUI, as I deliver the message via the video, we see there is a huge business opportunity here in the commercial space station. The one of the issue which we have to do is to create a commercial application using ISS and also the future commercial space station. Everyone thinks like using space is only the satellite is the solution to use the space, but I would like to let you know is the also station is the one of the potential business opportunity. So that I would like to invite all people, students, researchers, entrepreneurs in Thailand who could share the same vision with us and to create a commercial application using the space station. So what MITSUI considers today is we would like to have, in short, we would like to have the Japanese private module docking to the commercial space station. So that you guys are all invited to think about together with us, how could we use the commercial space station for contributing to the terrestrial industries. And I'm very looking forward to working with you. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful proposal. For the last sponsor, the sixth sponsor will be the RiskTaker. So please join us for your proposal.
こんにちは、リスクテイカーの榊原と申します。リスクテイカーはベンチャーキャピタルという事業家のアイディアと熱意に投資する事業を行っていまして、社名の通り多くのリスクテイカー、つまり挑戦者を社会に輩出したいというふうに考えています。現代に生活する我々は皆、過去の挑戦者が切り開いてくれた土地の上に生きているというふうに考えています。その当時、最新だった技術を駆使して、ビジョンを描いて、そして強い勇気を持って未踏の地を切り開いて、発見された地にはまた別の挑戦者が別の技術を持って現れて、そのサイクルが、その土地に社会とコミュニティを作ってきたというふうに僕ら考えています。で、今まさに宇宙というフィールドは挑戦者たちの挑戦のサイクルによって発展していく場所になっていく必要があるんじゃないかなと思っています。技術とビジョンを持って次の世代に新しい道を提示していくような事業アイデアを期待して待っております。皆様ご応募よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you very much. I think this is for the first half session. For the sponsor session, there will be the coffee break, and we will be back around. I think we finished earlier than usual schedule, 15 minutes earlier. So we're gonna have the breaks like maybe around 20 minutes. But first, before we break, I would like to invite the two champions to invite and introduce the products of the space cookie that you can have and also enjoy during your time for baking. And also, she will introduce her product about the modeling and designing on the space product. And if you're interested, you can have a chance to discuss with this. So please welcome.
Hello everyone. First, I'd like to thank the Department Office and staff for inviting me today. My name is Julia Champion, and I'm actually a designer specializing in visuals, and also funded this company called Manova, which is a company that aims to bridge between art and space. So our product visually evolved in toy design, 3D animations of fashion. But today we have brought you our looking products. So during the break, if you have the opportunity, please check out our space cookies. Thank you.
ก็ขอบคุณครับผมสำหรับการสนับสนุนนะครับทีนี้จริงๆแล้วเราเสร็จก่อนเวลานะครับผมประมาณ15 นาทีก็เดี๋ยวอาจจะปล่อยเบรกประมาณถึงประมาณบ่าย30หรือว่าบ่าย35นะครับเดี๋ยวมารวมกันถึงเซสชั่นสุดท้ายแล้วก็คือมีส่วนของวิธีการสมัครนะครับ How to apply the S-Booster2022 แล้วก็สุดท้ายจะเป็นเหมือนกับเซสชั่นของ panelist ระหว่างพวก joint venture startup ต่างๆนะครับก็จริงๆต้องขออภัยเพราะว่าพอดีเราสั่งเบรกไว้ตอนบ่าย3 โมงตรงนะครับแต่ก็ตอนนี้เรามีเบรกของทางคุณจูเนียอยู่แล้วก็เดี๋ยวเบรกของเราจะมีตั้งเสริมให้ประมาณบ่าย3นะครับก็ระหว่างนี้ก็ขอให้ทุกท่านได้รับประทานหัวของเบรกได้เลยครับแล้วเดี๋ยวเรามาพบกันประมาณบ่าย3:15 นาทีขอบคุณมากครับ So the application guideline session for the end of it today. So we're gonna start back to like 3. 15. Okay, I would like to introduce you to the new session. So this session is going to be a little bit of panel discussion between the managing director, space evangelist, and also the internal government to give you a little bit about the aspect of how to utilize the local business into the space global value chain. So may I start to introduce the guest speaker. The first one is Ms. Kuwanon. She is the managing partner for Inspire Company. So welcome. So the next guest will be joining us online, Mr. Amarit Jalanporpan. He is the angel investor and partner from Unfold Ventures. Please join us online. Thank you. Okay. And last, welcome. And the last will be our moderator, Dr. Nathavat Hongkanjanakul. He is the Director of Space Technology Development of TISTA as SKP. There will be a little bit of a discussion for maybe 30 minutes about the idea aspect of the investor, the funders. So, shall we begin? I will give you the floor. So, let's start.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm Nathavat Hongkanjanakul, and today I'm with Kun Tomatai from Inspire and Kun Amarit, which is an angel investor. As you know, today we are going to host the program for S-Booster, which is the startup program, the international one, mainly in space activity. But for our panelists, I think we try to engage the whole ecosystem of the startup here. I think the system is the same for even in Thailand or all over the world. We need the promoter. In this case, it might be from our side, TISTA, and also from Inspire or NIA, National Innovation Agency of Thailand. And another partner must be someone who would like to invest, which is we have Amarit today. And the most important one, which is startup that we are seeking today. Okay, maybe I try to start with Kun Amarit, because you are the one that very expert and have very experience in startup environment. So as the angel investor, what makes you have passion about investing in space startup? What are the kind of the difference of space startup and other startup that I would say that very well mature today? But what is kind of the challenge of startup in space technology?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So as a entrepreneur who's been in technology for 10 years, having started industry like co-working space, tech media, every 5 or 10 years or so, there comes a time where new industries have an inflection point where a combination of new technology, lower cost of production, and an emerging trend creates a new wave, right? I have invested in a lot in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, cannabis technology, smart cities. And what I see, having been a mentor at S-Booster for the past 4 years, interviewed on stage with the CTO of NASA and meet a lot of people in the space, is that for folks who are not familiar with space tech, they don't really see it as relevant to their lives or something that they can approach or touch. But as I talk to more VCs and angel groups that focus on space, I realize that it is no different than crypto or cannabis, which is a confluence of opportunities, the decreasing in the launch cost per kilogram, the opening up for commercial space operations, the ability to put cheaper satellites that will enable drone deliveries and autonomous vehicle driving and 3D printing. All these technologies is now making one of the biggest dream, a demand that never was there, which is, you know, the ability to go to space, to do something in space, to utilize space as a kind of the next, the final frontier for humanity, is now a living possibility for our lifetimes. And for me, as an investor, we're always looking to what's the next, what is the new. And I believe that we're in the super early days of space tech, but I'm very excited that, you know, the trend and the real business opportunity has arrived in Thailand through the support of S-Booster.
You think that Thailand space technology is not that far? You think that from the investor point of view, it can be accessed in the future?
Yeah, so I had a chance to talk to a lot of teams that are doing low Earth orbit satellites and thinking about launchers. Another startup done by a bunch of researchers called Kita, looking at 3D printing of food for astronauts in space. The amount of scientific and technical talent in Thailand exists, where I foresee that angel investor and the startup community can support is to bring the business acumen and the funding to support these projects, because we have a long way to go for R&D to get to commercialization, to get to practical applications, so that those ideas that exist in space can have an impact on the ground in Thailand, and to compress those very long time scale of 5 to 10 year research into a much more faster timeline that investors would appreciate. And I think that's where the startup community, like you're here in the FYI Center, Zilla space, it's really about creating this ecosystem where all the players are there together to interact, learn from each other, support one another, and grow. And Zilla space works for the crypto and blockchain industry. And I foresee that we need to support more of these emerging startups, which are now quite in different locations and have just as a supporter, S-Booster, JSAT, but we need more startups in closer proximity. We need more programs. We need more VCs and angel investors all coming to say that this is an industry worth investing in Thailand. And how can we turn these ideas into actually real businesses that make money, that can grow beyond just serving the Thai market. And I think that's a job that we are still doing for the past 3-4 years.
So we move to Dr. Tan. Yeah. So Dr. Tan today come from AimspireCo, but actually come on behalf of National Innovation. So NIA is the key player in Thailand who has to promote about the startup ecosystem. And I think in NIA now, you have many categories of business areas that you think of, starting maybe from the one that Thailand have a very strong area like agriculture, or move to some digital area. And why today NIA or Inspire, you have more and more focus on space technology. What you see, you can see the opportunity there.
This is not just a national agenda, but it's also a global agenda in talking about space resources. But if you look around the world, you will see emerging space. And the big one thing that states we have to do some sort of stuff. It's talking about capacity of resources on Earth. We're talking about the crisis that people have to face around the world, sustainability, climate change, alternative energy, and also, the way towards the frontier tech, the startups and entrepreneurs really step up, and address those points and challenges. Something about it's company, but thinking about this previous like 5 or 6 years ago, people say, okay, frontier tech is something for tomorrow. Something for the business to commercialize, but this 5 years. It's just recently, have a focus group discussions sector, several days ago. And we had a session sort of a few years ago. And one of the things that surprised me is that people become more, concerned about climate change and become more concerned about sustainability. A few years ago, people in the sector, like industrial sector or in agricultural sector, they'll talk about productivity. Yeah. They'll talk about, like how to reduce costs, how to, manage the labor shortage or the challenges in the sector that they're facing today. But just recently, people become more aware about how can we live like this? How can we actually address the big pain points about agriculture? Because at the end of the day, food security, agriculture, or the shortage of food supply have become very prominent. And that's linked back to the space technology. We talk about like satellite image services, talking about AI-driven kind of analytics that can actually, help farmers or companies working in the agricultural sector to explore natural resources in a more efficient way. And it can also address some of the big issues like, the soil health. It seemed to be too far-fetched, like several years back, but soil health, talk to like a big CEO, in the big corporates, everyone concerned about soil health. If those who are not in the agricultural sector, I have to say, this is going to be one of the most biggest challenges. And also the water shortage or the water management. And how can space technology, play a role in solving these issues? It's not just like the upstream side on the satellite or the launch or the ground space station, but also on the downstream side. We have come across many startups in the AI sector, in the IoT sector, in the remote sensing sector, that become more interested, in stepping into the space because they know that, let's say, for example, the remote sensing startup, they can actually work with the oil and gas, the company to do the non-destructive kind of testing, inspection, and it can actually invest in terms of productivity and efficiency in terms of the day-to-day operation of those infrastructure-based company. And I think that's explained, why we have to really more conscious about, talking to people, in the frontier technology kind of sector, and space is one of I think the most sought after kind of sector that we are seeing today, and we have to start now. Otherwise it will be too late. Talking about space is not just about building satellites. It's not just about building, like developing payload or find software that we use like work with payload and communicate with power stations, and something like it's beyond that. It's much more than that, and that's the reason why that we have become more conscious ourselves, and also the government sector has become more focused on driving this initiative. And just as well, I understand that this also play a critical role in driving and in sort of like incubating and driving growth of startups in the sector.
Yeah, like space is kind of the thing that behind all the business, like you mentioned about agriculture, about the autonomous vehicle. Yeah.
I would have to add, a few years back when talking about space, people were laughing. What about space? It's too far-fetched. But once we start to explain, once we start to raise awareness like this, people become more aware. It's not just about it's not rocket science. It's not just about rocket science. It's not about satellites. It's way beyond that.
Yeah. I think, and I think this program for this booster is very open about not only the hard side, you mentioned about upstream, we also open for the space application that you mentioned as well.
The space-related kind of application for the end user, could be things like the future food, the alternative protein. It could be, things like, the alternative energy that can be used in space, and also to address the needs of people in the energy sector as well.
Yeah. Okay, so now I move back to Mr. Amari again. As Thai startup, you mentioned that we have many experience in some area, but I think there's still some gap. For example, if we see startup in Thailand and startup in the state of America, I think it's like a huge difference today. So, in your opinion, what do you think that? What are the big gap, or what should be the activity that we should boost up, that we should make some plan to make the startup in Thailand have a bigger area, big power, more power?
Yeah, I think it's a great question because it applies to every industry. I think there's definitely a few major areas that we can work with that come to mind. I think one is definitely the global nature of competition. Just like in the blockchain industry, space tech is now booming in all over the world. You have Singaporeans and many incredible Japanese operators vying for business across the world. And now even as a former events guy, when the world went to hybrid and virtual events, your competition is literally every operator in the world. So that means that in order to be considered a breakout, a star, many of the best funds in the world, Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, they want to make sure that you are the best person in the world, not just in the country, that can deliver this project. So the idea is, we have a lot of very smart people, but the best in the world doesn't always mean that it has to be a ex NASA engineer or a JAXA expert that coming to build this. Right? It can also mean putting together a really incredible advisory board, angel investors, finding the VCs, going to accelerator program like S-Booster, whatever is a signal of the quality and seriousness, but also having the foresight to know that when investors and advisors approach you, they want you to know that you understand the landscape. Every player in Southeast Asia, globally, and know how you're better and different, how your value proposition competes, how you are able to tackle the problem locally in the region better because you understand the market more. and you have some unfair advantages, being able to access markets better because you're closer to the ground. And that's really one of the key things that while we start in a challenging geography that is, obviously the market is way bigger in developed markets, that ability to generate business and sales and win contracts and build a movement, basically build demand for space tech and your product and services is a lot of hard work, but it will be able to be the difference between you as just an operator, but you as an industry pioneer, right? And as somebody who's created the co-working movement in Thailand, I find that it's very rewarding to be the first in the country, but it's also the most tiring. So I think that means that for teams that really want to take a leap in order to not spend 5, 7 to 10 years like I have trying to build a chain of co-working spaces, I think one of the things that you need to think about is to have the best partners internationally, globally, from day one. And that's a challenge for Thai founders who sometimes feel like they need to conquer the local market before they expand. They feel like they haven't perfected their technology. And many times we have companies who spend 3, 5, 7 years to build their tech, to realize that the competition has already entered our market. And I speak of competition in the most favorable light, in the sense that everybody sees the same market and opportunity, and everybody has the same chance of tackling it. But we need to be clear that the world is much smaller and much more accessible, and that you need to really set really high benchmark in terms of how fast are you growing, how much revenue are you making, and find the best support on things you're not good at, like fundraising, right? And if you're not comfortable speaking in English, if you're not comfortable to fly and be on the road and talk to 200 investors worldwide to raise funds for your company, to recruit people that are non-Thais to join the team and know how to manage them, especially in remote and hybrid work situations where part of your team is in Jamaica and Ethiopia and all over the world, Japan, Singapore. How do you are able to get the best talent to work for you when they can just go and work for anybody else? And because people are sending them messages on LinkedIn for them to switch company and take a 2 to 4 times more salary. And that means that if you can line up great team and really put together, not just the executive, but the advisory board and the angel investors and then VCs in your camp, and have a great product that's benchmarked globally and have very clear metrics of how are you better and different from all these players, and then be able to go out there and communicate that in a way that investors, media, and global partners would want to partner with you, and that being based in Thailand is not a disadvantage because, oh, Thai technology isn't that good, but it's the right technology playing to the strengths of Thailand. Then I think we have a chance to really build an incredible company out here in this country.
Oh, good comment. But for me personally, I see many startups also, especially in space domain, that start from their passion. They are really passionate to start something. But your comment that mentioned that actually you have to seeking for demand, right? And also benchmark. And then for me, one point that's very important to me is finding a partner and benchmark international level. Right? So I think the stage like this booster can be very good opportunity that they can find or even see. Even they couldn't find yet the investor today, but I think at least the knowledge or opportunity worldwide is important for them too. Very good comment for the startup, for the cover today. Oh, let's move a little bit to Thailand. Again, for the activity of NIA, we know that today we have some activity that related to space called Space Economy Meeting of Thailand. Could you explain a little bit about this program? How could you engage the study in Thailand and what is progress or timeline of the program?
The program is basically inviting startup from early stage to growth stage, from TRL 1 to TRL 9, and it's open from upstream to downstream and space-related kinds of technologies. And it's an opportunity for startups to work with a Thai Space Consortium. When talking talking about Thai Space Consortium, well, it's a sort of like a team that bring together experts, from all areas to help to facilitate and also to drive startups to actually get the right resources that they need. The program was already started and about to end in terms of registration just today. So anyone that's interested to join this space, sort of lifting off program, you can have until midnight tonight to apply for the program. It's also to get exposed to the corporates that are interested in the frontier technology. In Thailand, we've got corporates that are interested in space technologies, both from the upstream side and downstream side, from like telco, and also in other areas like energy sector, and also in the industrial sector that would like to explore, the new technologies and use that to diversify, their existing portfolio. Just to add a little bit on that, I think I did like comment from we've been talking about Thai startup and opportunity to grow by collaborating, locally and internationally. One of the things that we think the accelerator program on the incubator program will help with the startups, they will learn to collaborate with others. In the area of deep tech, there is no more sort of like a venture kind of achievement. We don't need a venture, in the startup world, particularly in the deep tech. We want a collaborator, because there is no single team or no single CTO that would, be well-rounded in all kinds of technology. We need to get the specialists, from maybe 5 or 6 different areas and actually bring together. So just to sum up in terms of why do we need a program like this? Why do we need to have an accelerator? We need for the startup to actually come together and learn from each other, and knowing that the way to win in the deep tech arena, you need to be a collaborative leader. You need to seek resources, from everywhere and be able to, even though it's not yours, you will have to actually bridge that and find the right person to commercialize that, and find the right person to actually collaborate maybe with the corporate partners to actually bring that to the market or bring it to the end users. I think that's the benefit of the startups, joining the sort of program. It's not about winning alone. It's winning together.
Okay, maybe a little bit add on with the last question that I would like to talk today is that you host a program, and this program is, I think you have a variety of the startup in hands already. With the program called S-Booster today that we are talking about, do you think that it should be a good opportunity for Thai startup that can link to have better opportunity all over the world, maybe Japan or in Asia aspect?
Because in the startup world, it's all about thinking global from day one. It's not about I've got a passion. I would bring solutions to address this pain point and actually solve my own passion. It's about finding the right partners and sort of like networking, collaborating with others, and programs like S-Boosters, along with some other programs that we
initiated and being implemented. I think it's a great opportunity to bring together all those participants, you know, and actually exchange knowledge and also exchange kind of like you know, network expertise together. As I mentioned, deep tech is even harder compared to like a digital startup, you know, because for digital startup you have available resources that you can actually see off the shelf, or you have experts that are researchers that you can see. But for deep tech, you know, you can only see if you get a chance to work with those who really specialists in that area.
Like yesterday, I also see some company which is start from startup. 5 years ago, I see that this company, the kind of the progress of the company seems so slow comparing to the company that get the ready technology from China. But today, after 5 years, I see that the deep tech can be the one that sustain the technology and can be. I can see the opportunity after it is very well seen. Yeah, it's kind of. In fact, if we have the deep tech in hands, I think the growth or opportunity in the future is much better. I very agree with your comment. In fact, if we can find some space startup which has deep tech in hand, I think it would be we are very proud of them.
The other thing that I would like to add, and I also get that you know, inputs from the startups and from you know, from other corporates as well. Yes. That maybe, you know, like the government sector, it would be a great opportunity to bring together experts, you know, in the frontier technologies of all sorts together and find a way to utilize, you know, those resources. I don't think we have a directory, or we don't have like a real, you know, the insights of who is doing what, who is great, or who is specialized in what area. Yeah. You know, it might be all the time consuming, or it might be cumbersome to put together all this information. That would be a great, you know, I think, way to access to, you know, the right resources. Because talking about, you know, those who really have technology, really, you know, have in-depth, you know, knowledge about technology, many of them are in the universities. They're like used to have passion about their own business, but after a while, you know, there is no business for me to run. So it's just like teaching, I do my own research, and I would just like keep doing what I'm doing. But it could be an opportunity to bring those Avengers together, you know, and doing something together with a collaborative leader in the middle, you know, to drive a big project, you know, with the continuity of, you know, initiative maybe be initiated from the government side, and then be a way to actually give it money, keep the ball rolling.
Okay. So I move back to put on wait for the last question. Maybe I try to add up a little bit about the deep tech technology space. So in terms of investor, in your point of view, in fact, the direction of the investor, are you looking for the startups that have maybe, for example, I can compare the one that have prototype already in hand, or just the scale in the laboratory, but really in deep technology. What are you looking for, in fact?
Sure. Well, there's really no size fit all, and it's still pretty early. I have looked at a lot of deals that are still, you know, in early prototype, pre-commercialization stage, and I feel that for a lot of companies, there seems to be a gap where accelerators and more generous grant and government programs, like from the NIA or TED Fund, makes a lot of sense. In the essence is that it's still a little too risky for many investors to take the plunge, and maybe a little too early for corporate to engage, especially in Thailand, where, to be quite honest with you, we still need more companies to warm up to the idea of doing co-R&D, investing, giving lending expertise, lending equipment and resources to help the researcher and entrepreneur be able to launch, and having very clear but favorable IT terms for the researching team and the entrepreneurs, so that they feel that they are not giving away too much too early. So I think for angels and corporates alike, where I see most of the discussion with space tech starting to make a lot of sense is when some of those ideas and application from the the experience of sending something to the International Space Station or doing a lot of interesting research, those results can then be applied, whether it's from the formulations or the technique, the IT, or even just from a branding and marketing perspective, that some companies would just want to be associated with like the cutting edge technology, but have to be able to apply it commercially on the ground. Then I think things get exciting, and I think more companies really feel that when they invest, they will likely see some returns. I think it's just because the vantage point, like, is such a new industry where VCs and corporate alike just have never made investment in the space, have never really gone to a space tech conference or know anybody who succeeded, and it's going to take some time as we educate, right? But look, the difference between people doubting Bitcoin, or I think that autonomous vehicle, smart city is a hoax. I think a lot of these trends have been proven to for those doubters, they've been proven wrong. So it's just really about really making sure that the expectation of the startup is not that every corporate and angel will jump at every space tech because they see Elon Musk, they believe that every project is going to save the world. By having a realistic expectation that yes, we want to back cutting edge research, yes, this is really exciting, but at the end of the day, there's no shortage of interesting projects to invest locally, internationally, and investors are also have a role to return the capital and also make a profit for the folks that entrust them with money. Even if it's an angel, they're managing their own money. So a lot of teams need to also make sure that the journey of the research and the innovation is exciting, but also the commercialization and the business potential is equally as exciting. And when those things are aligned, people are very happy. Whereas a lot of teams feel like, you need to back space tech, otherwise, this industry won't emerge. But they have never really crafted the story of a great investment opportunity. And that's why a lot of conversations are not going anywhere. But, at the end of the day, I'd like to summarize that I am still actively looking for the next big company in space here in Thailand. And we love to talk to everybody. So if there's any way we can help, please do reach out to us. And I think a lot of those narratives are ones you need to work with folks in the accelerator, as well as investors who've actually raised funding and exited before. And we can work together to craft that story for investors to be interested in the project.
Okay, very interesting point. So before going to the big company, the first step to be startup and small company today is a very important step that we have to start today. Lastly, I would like to ask Thomas to end up. We would like to have some comment or suggestion to the S-Booster program anything to the startup that would like to apply to the program, please?
I would encourage, startups that are thinking of, exploring opportunities, in the frontier tech like space, joining a program, because you get to see mentors, and you will have access to facilities, you'll have access to resources that it will be very difficult for you to be individually, seek resources on your own. By joining a program like this, it allows you to really understand the insights of industry as well. Because I have heard about, the challenges or the pain points or the opportunity areas that all the corporates that have been sponsoring this program, put it on a spot and then waiting for startup to solve or startup to create solutions to solve theirs. I think those are the great things that you will get to talk to those who really have insights in the industry. And somehow, you might have a passion, you might have a technology, or you might have your own solutions. But by bridging that with the real insights and the real needs and the real commercialization opportunity, it will bring together a sort of a great opportunity, for you to grow and to really step up and bring, a prototype, to another level. So I would encourage everyone to join, and it's very rare, for the different programs to really be organizing in the region. It's already a few, programs organizing in the region right now. So I think it's a great time. Opportunity is open and the time is right. You have heard a lot. That startup is all about, the right timing. It's not just about business models, it's not about technology, it's not just about team. It's about timing, and the timing is right for deep tech to really get access to the resources you need to step to another level.
Okay, thank you so much. For Amrit, could you end up with this session with your comments, please?
Yeah, I'm a truth teller, so every comment was my personal observation and experience, but I think folks in the audience and everybody watching at home, I think now is the time. I think S-Booster has gotten to a point, and many programs with the NIA and JSAT, that I think we're at a very strong inflection point. I recall in the past where some of our meetings, there were very few people in the audience, and everybody was passionate but curious. But community starts from there, and I think as more and more projects become successful and prove that there's demand from investors, there's demand from businesses, there is a demand from the rest of the world for Thai innovation. I think we're going to see this industry create a beachhead, and then we kind of grow from there. But I think we all need to work together very closely. You need to keep the sustained efforts. And I think we also need to get these company funded, because it does take a lot of money to support and really get going. So I think when a big player like an NA or S-Booster support it, it's very strong validation. So my only ask from everybody is to really push yourself, get out of your comfort zone, and use this leverage of being blessed and endorsed by the most exciting program in the region to leapfrog your business and get notice on an international stage. And we're going to keep doing this for the next 10 years, and I think by the end of it, we're going to see space industry take hold in Thailand and become a big pillar. So looking forward to continue to work with everybody in this Zoom for the next decade.
Yeah, so I think next few months you see any startup that show the idea or the prototype to use it. Looking for it. So once again, we thank a lot to Kun Amrit and Kun Thanathai for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Before we are closing this session, anyone would like to ask any question to the speakers? Any comments or any suggestions? Maybe you can question the ideas. So please. anyone? Okay. So thank you again for the highly informative panel discussion. It will be very helpful for the attendants to try to the startup business. Yes. So thank you again. Thank you. So for the next session, it's about your application guidelines. I would like to invite Ms. Yoko Taruya, the advisor from the National Space Policy Secretariat, the Cabinet Office of Japan, to give you brief summary of how you are going to apply on this S-Booster application. So,
thank you, Tosa, for your kind introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. Sawadika. My name is Yoko Kadir from National Space Policy Secretariat, Cabinet Office. And also, on behalf of the Cabinet Office, we would like to extend our appreciation to Ananda for hosting the event. And from the panel discussion in the previous session, we need collaborators. That's the key for S-Booster, I believe. S-Booster has got many opportunities for the collaboration. It's not just limited to the idea contest. And I would like to briefly once again introduce about our program. And let me explain from the slide. Okay, so once again, the Space S-Booster is a space-based business idea contest hosted by Cabinet Office. So we have a lot of collaborators. We are supported by the Japanese sponsors. As introduced from the previous session, we are collaborating with Japanese sponsors, Kyocera Corporation, Hypertech JSAT Corporation, Sony Group Corporation, Honda R&D Co Limited, and the MITSUI Company Limited, and the RiskTakers. And I think from these sponsors' name, probably you don't have an image of the space. It's now kind of we are entering the new area, and those companies mostly were traditionally not running the space business, I believe, and that they are trying to see the new area for the business. And as explained from the sponsors, their themes really varieties of the application areas, and there are a lot of opportunities and top areas going to the space business with this cooperation, and we would like to encourage everyone to think about the innovative ideas by utilizing the space assets, and we are welcoming everyone to utilize the Japanese space asset, and we are looking for the collaborators with the Japanese companies and the space assets. And also, for the specialty, we are actually giving a grand prize winner 10 million yen by cash, and for everyone to be able to boost up the business after the S-Booster. And also the uniquely, one of the most features of S-Booster is that you have a mentoring program. Once you are selected as a finalist, you are going to have 3-4 months to be advised from the mentors from Japan, and then you can brush up your ideas and be ready to start your business. And also the sponsors are actively looking for the collaborators. So you have a lot of opportunities to be able to collaborate with the Japanese companies. So we would like to once again encourage everyone to think so. So here is the schedule. Now it's really a good timing. We just started opening the call from end of April, and we are middle of the receiving the applications, and we are going to close the application on 20th June, 5 o'clock Japan time. Very, very strictly, we are going to close. the applications on time. And you're probably going to have 1 month to think about your ideas. And today we have experts from Vista, Cabinet Office, JSAT, and also currently we are having a sponsor physically here from Sony Corporation and MITSUI Company Limited. So please make use of the opportunity to network with them and get more close ideas from the theme of the sponsors. So after we close the applications, we are going to have a document screening, and we are going to select semi-finalists to have a pitching presentation. We are targeting to organize this event in August. So probably you are going to get announced maybe sometime in July if you are selected as a semi-finalist. And after the pitch presentation in August, the selected finalists are going to have a mentoring program by the mentors from Japan, and you brush up your ideas. And also we are going to organize several workshops, and actually you are going to have I think the country need to introduce, but we are going to have lectures to know how you can make a good presentation, and also for the other business aspects also. And then you are going to have a final presentation in December. It's going to be in Tokyo. Hopefully this COVID situation allows everyone to be on site, but still it's not confirmed, but please keep watching our website, and we keep updates with this information on the website. And this is the prizes for the S-Booster. So grand prize winner is going to get the 10 million yen, and the special judge prize is going to get 1 million yen, and the Asia Oceania prize will be the same. And from each sponsor, you are going to get 500,000 yen from each sponsor, and the sponsor is going to select their own prize winner. And also our collaborator from JSAT and NEDO, they are going to give a hands-on support for the 6 months for you to be able to be ready to start the business and brush up your ideas into the business. And once again, here is the theme of each sponsor company and the varieties of the theme from each sponsors. And I think you can maximize your ideas and think about which company's theme you want to apply for. And also, we are not limited to the themes of the sponsors. We are quite open to the applicants, and we are looking for anyone who would like to collaborate with Japanese space asset and Japanese companies. And for example, one of them, Japan is operating their own GPS system. It's called JSAT, and it's providing the services in Asia Oceania regions. And Thailand is one of the countries who gets the benefits of this satellite system services. What is the difference? The JSAT provides the services of more precise positioning. And what makes a difference? It gives you more precise decision making and value added to what we have now. And it's quite in a variety area. And for example, like a smart city and autonomous driving, precise positioning, agriculture, IoT. There are so many areas. And also, I just mentioned the satellite positioning, but there are other satellites like remote sensing satellites and communication satellites. And there are many data from satellites. And I believe that Thailand is quite advanced in the digitalization and utilizing big data and IoT. And I believe that still there are many people who are not aware of utilizing the space data to add their current application. Space data can bring you more qualification And also it gives you more precise decisioning, and the areas you can utilize this data is really wide. And if you'd like to know more in details, please visit the S-Booster website. We are introducing about like how you can utilize the QZSS and also other Japanese space asset, and also the sponsor things is also available on the website. And here is the site. Like if you go to the S-Booster website, you can actually scroll down and try to find the application form, and then you please click here and go through the forms. And also, like if you would like to review carefully again about each sponsor's theme, if you click the logo of the sponsor, you can know more about their themes. So I hope today there are many interesting presentations, and I hope you got something to think about your ideas, and we really look forward to having your innovative ideas. And once again, the deadline is the 20th June. You still have 1 month. Even if you're individual or teams or anyone who has a good idea, we welcome to have your ideas and applications. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Yoko, for your very informative guidance. Yes, there is no rules on apply for the S-Booster 2022. Only the gain, either with the price or to get the community, the connection, and your supporter. And of course, ISTA also consider to support the ISTA awards during the Asian pitching round, which is, I think, is around 20,000 Thai baht. So that way to encourage you to move on to the final round. So before we are closing or taking a group photo, is there anybody would like to ask any questions about how to apply, how many teammates, how many organized can be done together? Actually, it's going to be described in detail in the guidelines. So before you put on the Google application form, you can download the application guideline to review the full list of questions and conditions. Okay, and after this session ends, there will be recording of the video. We're going to put again for you to review this presentation and information on the Space Innovation Park Facebook fan page. I will also send you the email about the pre-recording video, so you can add for the review of this today program. Okay, so I think it's 4 and it's on Friday. I don't want to hold you much more longer. Maybe we can take a good photo and have everyone going home. So maybe we can take a good photo. Let's come outside on the stage. Maybe the nice background for the introduction of the S-Booster open up program.ข้างหน้าได้เลยครับผมถ่ายรูปร่วมกันจะเป็น experts please join us เชิญได้เลยครับAnyone to join? Okay. Is there anyone taking us photo? Actually, no one. Okay. Thank you ขอบคุณมากนะครับทุกคนนะครับ So thank you everyone again for joining this booster and I hope you enjoy and please enjoy this weekend. Before you leave, please make sure you are grabbing the food back there with you. Of course, there's a lot of food for you to try. Please do not hesitate to be. And looking forward to see your ideas. Thank you.
Oh,